Faber Piano Adventures, Level 3B, 2nd edition, page 27. The song is Legend of Madrid. In this piece we'll be doing grace notes, which will be demonstrated throughout the piece. And we're also going to be playing in 6/8 time and switching to 4/4 time. So let me play it once, then we'll talk about the details. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning of the piece. We have 6/8 time. It's either, your metronome should be set up from 69 to 84. I have mine, let's turn it up to 84. So it says a dotted quarter note for 84. Okay, so a dotted quarter note in 6/8 time is 3 beats. If you look at the left hand, we've got a set of 3 beats every time. So it's kind of like 1, 2, like that. 1, 2, like that. Okay, so that's the way you can get the feel down. You could also go over there and look at the dotted quarter note like the second measure and just be like 1, rest, 1, rest. I mean, that's another way to get the feel of the speed. Okay, now we're playing pedal, then we're dropping pedal, and we have a dotted quarter like in the second measure. Okay, so we're going to look at the first 2 measures here. We're going to hold pedal, drop pedal, let go of that dotted quarter. So there's kind of 3 things you need to be doing to interpret this or play this correctly there. And that type of sequencing happens over and over and over throughout the piece. The first part isn't really that hard. Make sure you follow the fingering. So as we're playing through, make sure you drop off that dotted quarter on the last 3/8 notes of each set. Fingering here. Now you might be wondering what those little lines are. We've went over those little lines starting from measure 13 and 14. We've got lines over the B flats and then the C. Those are tenutos. You're supposed to push deeply into those keys, kind of give them a little extra emphasis. Make sure you hold them throughout the passage. Don't just kind of hold them out. Okay, now on to the grace notes, moving on to page 28. It starts off with an interval grace note here, so we've got A and C sharp, and we're going to just be playing off that really quickly. A grace note is you're kind of jumping off of it to the next thing. In this case, it's really quite simple because we're just really quickly hitting it twice, like that. Now, a regular grace note would say 1 note. Give you a different example. Let's say the grace note was B flat, and we were going to B, it would sound like this, like that, or C to D. We would roll off of that grace note onto the principal note. So the grace notes are A and C sharp, but also the principal notes that follow are the same notes. So, and now let's talk about the cadenza. It's an elaborate, showy passage played freely. So freely means that you can kind of play around with the rhythms a little bit. But it is showy, so there should be kind of some acceleration, maybe something that sounds a little faster, something as they're listening to it. Your listeners, if you're performing this, are like, whoa, that was kind of cool. So as we start this, you can see there's a crescendo and then a decrescendo at the end of the cadenza. So start it off slowly and maybe accelerate it through and then pull back a little bit so that you can control the decrescendo at the end. Something like that. So try to play around with it. You get to do it and express it kind of your way, but don't take too much artistic license and going off the rails there. If you look at the pattern, we're starting A, B flat, C sharp. If you look at the next cadenza on measure 20, it's basically the exact same thing, but we're an octave higher. And then we're retardandoing by getting louder at the end. So as you're going through this, and then we're back to the original melody. So you're repeating the original melody at the very end. Try to feel that same 2 beat. I'm going to jump over here to measure 34, 35, 37 on page 29. We've got some more grace notes. They're grace note chords to the same chord. So and then we got another grace note on measure 41, but you have a fermata so you can hold it, and then you're coming off an 8th note C chord back to that D major chord, and then an octave lower with the D here. Okay, and then you got a fermata at the ending as well. It's fortissimo, so you should be playing ending loud, hold out that fermata. That pretty much covers most of the stuff in the piece. Just remember, this is an introduction to your grace notes. Typically, grace notes are singular notes going to other notes, like something like that, not where we're playing these intervals or chords. It does happen, but they're just doing this to kind of get you used to the idea of how grace notes work. Anyway, good luck with Legend of Madrid. Thanks for watching.